Word.
Thank you. Yo, so this is another episode of Don Talk Podcast. I'm AK the Don, and I'm here with Bobby
Yes,
today.
sir.
And I just kind of want to talk about what he does because I think it's super dope. And you are the first actor that I've had on here. So
Dope.
I definitely want to kind of give people that perspective on what you do. But yeah, go ahead. If you don't mind, introduce yourself and just a little background.
Yeah. Well, my name is Bobby Cius. As Connie said, I'm an actor and dancer. I've been dancing since the 7th grade, and then I started acting my freshman year of high school. Of course, I've done like little things when I was much younger, but like I have no recollection of those things. I have pictures though, but yeah, my brother's been my inspiration for both. He's 4 years apart from me, 4 years older. And I remember like he started dancing first. And I remember seeing him and like it looking so cool. And I was like, dang, like I'm trying to be like that.
Right.
So I have this one distinct memory of like him being out of the house and like we used to share a room. And I was like, I would be dancing, doing things that I saw him doing in the mirror. And like I never showed him because I was too shy or whatever. Right. And he came in and he was like peeking through the door. And then he caught me and I was shook, bro. But yeah, since then it's sort of been like he's been my role model in terms of that. And then for as I was graduating elementary school, we went to the same high school as well, same high school, same elementary school. And he encouraged me. He was like, yo, like I think you should look into these classes, like try this acting class. And I remember trying it. And the teachers knew me briefly or vaguely from me like going to see his shows and stuff. And I remember like my first week I was like, yo, this acting thing is kind of fire. Like I'm really rocking with it. And since then, like I've sort of gravitated towards acting a lot more. I feel more in tune with that than I do with dance. Dance is still a big part of me, but it's become like a lot more personal for me. And in the recent years, past 2 years, I've been sort of shifting my focus on dance and like really getting into acting a lot more.
Word. Yeah, that's it's definitely like having the older sibling that kind of does something is yeah, like I don't know if he realizes how much of an impact you might have told him and stuff, but I don't think like he'll actually understand like how much of an impact, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's a big thing. Well, yeah, you said your brother kind of got you into it. Is there anything that kind of sets you back from like when you're doing something? Is there like any time where you're like, oh, like I don't know if I could do this, or anything that may hold you back?
Yeah, for sure. With dance, I could sort of speak to that more because I've sort of distanced myself a lot. I guess I just started feeling like this around 2 years ago. I started feeling like I lost my purpose with dance, and that like I started investing more into performing for people as opposed to, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like I sort of lost my personal connection with it, and I was doing it for the oohs and ahs, you feel me, like for the clout or whatever. And that just didn't sit right with me, so like I started distancing myself from it. I think the last time I taught a dance class was my last 2 birthdays ago. That would have been 2018, December of 2018. That's the last time I taught a dance class, and then the last time I took a dance class, I don't even know when that was. And yeah, as I started like becoming more focused with my acting stuff, I just stopped dancing. Like I just don't do it as much anymore. I quit my dance crew. So it was a lot of that. Particularly with acting, I wouldn't necessarily call this a setback, but like every time I engage with a new environment, whether it's like, you know, going into college and acting or like post grad now, like being part of that new environment, I get that imposter syndrome a lot. And now I'm like 10 months in the professional world or whatever, but I'm still feeling that, like, so I'm still adjusting to that. But I wouldn't necessarily call that a setback. It's just something in my mind that's like, damn, like, but I know I got it, so I'm gonna keep pushing.
Yeah. So you said imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So do you mind just defining what that is?
Yeah, just the idea of, like, regardless of how long you've been doing what you're doing, and or how good at it you are, the idea of joining a new environment and feeling like you don't have the skills, or like you're not supposed to be there, you don't belong there because you don't live up to the expectations that you believe are set for that environment. And so yeah, I've been having a little bit of that, but my work sort of speaks for itself, and like all the blessings that I've been grateful to receive.
Word. Yeah, so like, yeah, that makes sense. I had a little bit of that. I went to an event actually a couple days ago, and I was just like, what the hell am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like, at first I was just like, I was so excited to be there, but then I was like damn, like there's all these people here who do all this great work. Am I even supposed to be here? You know what I mean? So just like, I was driving myself crazy, and like the rest of the night I was just like, I was sold to myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a work in progress. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Like you said, it's just a matter of being confident in yourself and knowing that your abilities live up, like they're at that standard, or they do meet those expectations and stuff. So how do you kind of choose which performances or are you chosen for like certain performances?
It's a little bit of both. So like I'm assuming you're talking about acting, of course, right? So I go to auditions, and sort of like being new in the field, it's like you sort of just like try to get work, right? But also not losing the things that are really interesting to you, or the things that resonate with you, and being able to like sift through, like, I'm a audition for this, even though I know I don't really rock with this, like I'm gonna try to get work. I've been blessed, really blessed. I remember my senior year at Salem State, I was in this auditioning class, which is basically about the business of acting, right? That side, and like exploring what cities are best for what you want to do, whether it's film, stage, both, all that sort of stuff, and like how to carry yourself in the audition room, and like all those type of things, right? And I remember saying to the class, after my professor asked me a question, and I was like, I see myself wanting to stay in Boston. I'm not necessarily the type to like think that everything is outside of Boston for me. So like that's sort of the mindset that I've been in. And I was like, I want to work with Black artists, directors, actors, on stories that resonate with our community. And like, fortunately, I've done 4 professional gigs so far, and all of them have been Black directors. 3 of them have been like really Black content heavy, cultural, racial, racially charged, all that sort of stuff. So I've been real grateful for that. So yeah, it's a mixture of like being like, like I gotta go for the things that are interesting to me, things that I find interesting, but also like I gotta go and present myself, and hopefully I get cast. But I just sort of put my best foot forward. And yeah, that's how that works.
Word. And then is there a favorite, like, do you have a favorite part of the process? Like either, like whether it's either auditioning or memorizing the lines or actually performing? Like,
my favorite part is when I'm like, there's a lot of things that go into it, but one of my favorite parts is definitely making a new discovery, whether it's about the story, whether it's about the character I'm playing. So like when those discoveries come, I get to creatively create whatever I want to do for that moment, as opposed to what, you know, people might think is the norm. Like, this is how this person would act because of this, you know, because like I tend to read a script about 10 times before and during a rehearsal process, right? Because the more you read, the more you like really get to know what the work is. And so like I could be on my last read and like realize something completely new.
Yeah.
And that just starts like a chain of new thoughts and ideas that sort of carry or propel my performance or my take on a character or on a situation. And those are the moments I live for, because like once you get that aha moment, it's lit. It's lit from there.
Word. Yeah, man, that's super dope. Like I feel like regardless of what it is, everyone has like that favorite part for them, you know, and like definitely being able to understand the character and say like, oh, like I can do this with it, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I definitely think that's dope.
Another thing though, I will say this, I can't leave this out. Another thing is getting that email that you booked the gig. Yep. I love that. Oh man,
I could feel that. That dang, like, so how many people typically is it that would like go for an audition?
It really depends. It depends on a couple different things: how popular the theater is, how popular the play is, or story. But I've been in audition rooms that have been like 2 people, 3 people, including myself, and then I've been in audition rooms that have been like 20 people.
Wow.
And it could get larger than that. Like specifically with plays, which has been most of what I've done. I've done some film work as well. So specifically with plays, there are different stages, right? I think in film there are as well too. So like there's the first like general audition, right? And then there's like callbacks, of course, and some gigs you get multiple. You have to go through multiple rounds of callbacks, and the numbers get smaller each time. Fortunately for me, after I did my very first play that a local black director asked me to come audition for after seeing the show that I did at Salem State, after that play, like my name's sort of been like buzzing. So like I've been fortunate to not have to go to the preliminary auditions.
Word.
I just go to callbacks and yeah, that's sort of been my process. So lately I've been typically in rooms of like maybe 5 or 6 other people, but there's different days too. So like,
right. So
that could be a lot more than what I'm seeing.
Oh, okay. So you mean like there'll be like a certain callback like Monday and then another one on Tuesday,
yeah.
But you'll go to the Monday one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I don't necessarily know how many people I'm up against.
Right. Okay. And then what, I think you touched on this briefly. Do you have like what's your kind of your bigger goal for acting? Like is it just to be as big as like in a movie screen, like in films and stuff, or like?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's I have some specific goals, some not so specific, some vague. Like I said earlier, I'm sort of like, as opposed to I'm gonna get out of Boston and go where it's popping, I'm sort of like, I follow the notion of like I'm gonna go where the work takes me. And I've gotten offers of stuff out of state before, but like I've rejected some things. I've done some work out of state, but it's really like I want to do it all, bro. I want to see how far I could go with it. Of course, my answer towards the like film versus stage, I think film will give me the opportunities to financially to take care of things that I want to take care of on a bigger level outside of me, outside of acting. That's bigger than me, you know. I think it'll provide me with the opportunity to do that stuff. So in that sense, I would like to do film, of course, on a big scale. Movies, like I'm talking like I'm taking a torch from Denzel types. Yeah, like, you know what I mean. And I want that sort of recognition. That's, you know, not for recognition's sake, but like, you know, you think about Denzel Washington and you're like, yo, like all black communities rock with him, like,
right?
And what he's able to do for communities that rock with him, what he does behind the scenes and all that stuff. Like, I think a lot of the recognition get contributes to what you're able to do. You know what I mean? So in terms of like film, like that's sort of my route. I will say, based off of comparing the little film work that I've done to the stage work that I've done to the theater stuff I've done, I enjoy the theater process more. You know, performing in front of a live audience, shows for six, maybe sometimes 8 shows a week, you know, and like them shows being different and seeing how different audiences react and stuff like that. But also like the rehearsal process, bringing the cast together, and like really working through scenes. Whereas in film, it's like, yo, like they gonna give you the script, you memorize it or not. Some people don't do that. Right. And then you come in and, you know, you do however many takes until the director feels like it's good. You know what I mean? So I think theater for me has been less or more personable in terms of my relationships with my collaborators.
Okay.
Yeah.
Word. So let me ask you this real quick.
Talk to me.
Who would you kind of choose? So Denzel or Will Smith? Because we like Armando and Phil have had this conversation, and like they kind of go back and forth. I just want to see a different perspective. So if you had to like choose between, who would you lean towards more? Like not saying like, oh no, I don't want. I'm not type to. I don't want to like pit them together, but like
yeah.
Whose work do you enjoy more?
Okay. That's a question with different layers, and it's a little difficult because, you know, they from different generations,
right?
I would choose Denzel. I think he's consistently. Yeah, there have been like maybe 1 or 2 films of his that I was like, it was alright, but like aside from those, I think he's like consistently put out some fire work, right? Will Smith, however, I rock with the characters he plays a lot more in terms of like what I can relate to, what my personality sort of matches. You know, he's had a number of box office crashes,
right?
But he's also very important to the culture the same way Denzel is. You know, you think about Fresh Prince, you think about Bad Boys, you think about 7 Pounds, you think about all these hits. You know, my answer would have to be Denzel, because like just the whole, like, everybody looks to him like that, and that sort of power, so to speak, that sort of recognition goes a long way in terms of what you could do, like I said earlier. But there's a lot of people that aren't part of that conversation. A lot of people that get overlooked. You know, we talk about Danny Glover, we talk about Lawrence Fishburne, right. I'm talking like OGs, James Earl Jones. Like, there's mad people on that Denzel level that may not have had as many box office hits or, like, you know, mainstream movies, whatever that means, that he has had, but like their talent is
they're
crazy,
still great,
crazy up there. So yeah, it's a bit. I don't even technically have a favorite actor right now. I'm sort of like in a space where I'm studying specific people and trying to see, like, all right, what do I like from this person? What can I take from this person? And then move on to the next person and something like that. So like, I don't have like a clear opinion on who my favorite actor is.
Word.
But these cats is fire. Denzel's fire. Will Smith is fire. But if I had to pick one, I'd pick Denzel.
All right. So if you like, what advice would you give to someone who's either coming from like a dance perspective, like someone who's aspiring to be a dancer, or someone who wants to get into acting? What would the advice be to them?
Okay, yeah. Generally, just for anyone, and for either path, I think if you can feel it in your gut that you're like really rocking with this career path, stick with it until you feel it in your gut more. Throughout my journey, I've had multiple things that reinforced my idea of this is what I need to be doing, right? Specifically with acting. Dancing has been something that like I've loosely tried to quit a few times, but I can't. Like it's so in my body. Like I'll be walking down the street, Salem State, I'll be walking from class to class and people will be like, yo, what's good with you? Because they see me dancing and stuff. But I do trust my gut in terms of like what feels right and what doesn't. You know, once I started feeling like I'm doing this dance stuff for clout, for recognition, and like using it for that as opposed to really doing something meaningful for myself and for audiences. And it doesn't have to always be that, you know, there's dancing for fun and then there's dancing for storytelling and to send a message. And I enjoy that whole spectrum. But like specifically for acting, go in and do it. Go in and do it. See how it makes you feel. See what type of things you like, and then keep pushing towards that. I'd say that the same thing for dance. Like if you really rock with it, do that, and then try to find a community that you can rock with, and people that share those same interests, and like be able to not only do those things but talk about those things and like really ingrain yourself, you know, immerse yourself in that space.
Word. So the first I think it was the first play I saw you in, I forget the name of it, but I think it was last year, and it was heavily based on was it Greek mythology?
Oh yeah, Black Odyssey Boston.
Yeah. That one was super dope. So
Word.
what was it like kind of getting into it? Well, I mean, this kind of like I'll ask it for like all the performances, but like what's it like kind of getting into character, and like if it does have like a timeline, like how long would it take to kind of
there's a couple different things I could say. You mean getting into character before a performance or before the run of the show?
I'll say
throughout
both.
the rehearsal. Okay,
Yeah, both.
So before the easier thing to answer, before a performance, it's really like, you know, you meet with the cast. You know, you have a call. That's the stage manager gives the cast a call. You know, that's when they have to be at the theater. And it's typically like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before the show starts, right? We do it if there's any like choreography, fight choreography or anything like that, you do that. And then you go off and do whatever you need to do before the performance. And for me, that's typically like whether it's stretching, vocal warm-up exercise, looking through pages of the script, and just like really like being in the environment with your fellow actors. That's sort of like the simple answer. Now, in preparation for a role, it's a lot that goes into that. It's a lot. Specifically for that play, I didn't know too much. My time at Salem State and being a theater major, I sort of just did that passively. You know, I only did one show with the theater department because I had to graduate. I needed those credits. So like I didn't necessarily learn a lot of, character building work through Salem State. Character preparation. And it wasn't until really after Black Odyssey Boston, my director, Benny Ambush, that guy jump-started my career really and he's been a sort of mentor for me since. And yeah, I had a lunch meeting with him about what the experience was for me with Black Odyssey Boston. And like feeling like, sometimes I feel like I can't emotionally connect with the character that I'm playing. And then he gave me he was like, I bet I'm gonna give you some resources, really some like grad level work, because he teaches at colleges as well. And the first thing he gave me was this 9-page document, right? And it was about all the work you do before the first day of rehearsal. And I was like, this is fire. Like, you know, some people might see that as, damn, like, this is mad work, but this is what I love to do.
Right.
So like, I was like, yo, this is dope. The first thing was like, read the play over and over and over and over and over, right? And as you read it, mark it up, write your beginning notes, like, wow, oh shit, this is dope, this is, you know, those sort of things. And then like try to see what the playwright is getting at, you know. What are the themes of this play, what is the message, things like that. And then there's like deeper character analysis sort of things, and you some of those things you get hints from the play itself, the playwright, you know, hints within the script. And then on the creative aspect, you have the labor of, you know, sort of figuring out what you want to do with it, you know what I mean, what's your take on this. And so like a lot of it is spending time with the script and the story and really ingesting it, and then on the back end of that is like what creative choices can I make? What things make sense for this story? What things make sense for this character? How does this character relate to this other character? What is their relationship, and how does that influence how we speak, how we move? Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of layers to that, bro. A lot. But yeah, physical work, like stretching, mental work, yoga, meditation, and then like the nitty gritty work, which is really dissecting the script and like dissecting scenes and like really analyzing all of that stuff. All that's packaged into what I do.
Word. So for the next one, the one that just finished up, Passover.
Yes, sir.
So was there anything that you kind of did differently in terms of preparation for that one?
I mean, yeah, every process is different. There's like a foundation of how I tap in type stuff. But this one was particularly hard. Excuse me, because, you know, it's a very racially charged story that's about these two black guys trying to get up off the block. You know what I mean? And so the play is based off of another play called Waiting for Godot. That's about these two white characters waiting for some man to come in order for them to be able to leave, right? And there's another character in there that comes in and he says like, oh, the guy's coming tonight. The guy's coming tonight. The guy's coming tonight. And they sort of like relive the same day over and over, and the guy never comes, right? So the idea of waiting for something that's never coming.
Right.
And sort of, so Passover is an adaptation of that mixed in with the story of Exodus in the Bible, and how Moses led the Israelites to the Promised Land. And so you see themes of those, but it's an absurd play that's grounded in a reality of the lives of Black Americans in America, obviously. Yeah. And how white supremacy, racism, and all those sort of things impact us in our environments, even in the spaces that we call our own, the spaces that we feel most comfortable in, and how all those sort of outside factors can make us feel trapped, right? And so what a lot of people that don't know acting or aren't familiar with it don't know, what they don't know is that like it can have a toll on you. And I'm not talking about like, you know, method acting, you know, these people that live the character in their daily lives for however long before they actually do the thing, right? Aside from that, topics that are like very personal or you know, things like that are racially charged can be very difficult, like really difficult. It can have its own physiological effects on you, you know, as an actor. And like there are practices, there are things we do in rehearsal processes to make the space safe and comfortable and all that. But sometimes, you know, if you don't know how to navigate that with the if you don't have the proper tools, you can take that work with you without knowing. And that actually happened to Kadaj, which is my boy that played opposite me. Yeah, he ended up being sick. And like we had to cancel. We did the first show, the first preview, and then we had to cancel the next 3. And he was in the hospital for a couple days. Oh, wow. And we had an understudy that came in and did the next 4 performances until Kadash came back. And when he came back, he was even more fire. He was lit.
Yeah, that was super dope. Shout out Kadash.
Yes,
yeah,
that's my guy. That's my guy. But yeah, so like for this process to really answer the question, I went around it like crazy. But a lot of it was like balancing spending time with the script with taking care of myself mentally, physically, all of that, like and not getting so entrenched in it that I can't pull myself back up from it. A lot of it was confusing. A lot of like, you know, I get a lot of it, and then I hit a roadblock or two every now and then. And like, you know, during the rehearsal process, you talk about these things. You talk about the play, the themes, how we the ideas that the director or that we have for certain things. You talk about all these things. But yeah, it gets hard. Like I talk about the aha moments and those feeling really good. But contrary to that, like it's the moments where you don't know. You know what I mean? So like I be getting stuck sometimes. Right. And like people don't see that because people only see the finished product. But yeah, there are different things that I do based off of what the content calls for.
Word. And then so because I really like that play from like start to finish.
Word.
Like off rip, as soon as I walked in, when you walked up to me and you dabbed, I was like, oh like but I was like, oh, like he's in character.
Yeah. Not everyone gets that, by the way. Some people be like, Bobby. I be like, Bobby.
Yeah, that's like I got it. And like, cause like when I forget what name you said, I was like obviously like he got to be in character. But yeah, that was just that moment. I just felt so awkward because I was like, damn, like they both over here, and like he was like, oh, that's it, and Kadash was like, nah, that's not. I was just lost. But yeah, that was good. And then the whole idea, it was, yeah, like you said, of waiting for something that's not coming. They were like, you guys are like, yeah, we're gonna get up off this block, and I was just thinking, I was like, damn, like there's a lot of people who kind of have that mindset of, yeah, we gonna do this, you know, but they never do. You know, and that was a big thing for me, like just kind of seeing that and kind of realizing like, wow, like,
yeah, I think it's there's more to it than that though. Like that, yes, it is a mindset, but it's also like, what are the things that exist that are holding us back? Right. The things that create that mindset. You know, the idea is that I can't, because of the position I'm in as a black man in the world, there are things that I can't do, that I don't have the privilege of doing, or the access or resources to get access to. And we look at institutional racism and all those sort of things as really big factors. So yeah, like you literally, for our set, you literally see the block that we stand on, right? And you see everything else. Like we could literally just walk out of the theater. There are certain times in the play that we got off. Exactly. You know, but then sort of that last moment when you think like, oh, we free, we out, we good, something pulls us back. Exactly. You know what I mean? So like yeah, it part of it is a mindset. But then the other part is like there are actual things in place systematically that oppress us, that keep us back. 100%. You know, that hold us back. Yeah. Yeah.
Cause yeah, like the cop was kind of coming around, and it was like I don't know if that was it was a cop, right? Okay, yeah. So he was like one of the factors that was kind of like holding them back and stuff. And I would like, again, like that was just sort of and understanding, I was like, wow, like that's just one of the things,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of prevent us from doing that, from getting where we want to be. And when like it was also like another thing, I don't know, this is like just a little unrelated, but like when the guy came with the basket of food, you know, and then he was like, oh, like, you want some of the food, and like you were so hyped, but Moses is like, oh, like, nah, like we shouldn't do that and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, what's your name? It was Master. I was like, that was like in them, I was so blown away. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But yeah, like that was just that's just like a powerful moment, and I really like I feel bad for people who didn't get to see that play.
Me too.
Yeah, they missed out.
Me too.
100%. But
I promoted the hell out of that.
Yeah, that was a super dope play. If you missed it, then like that's on you. But yeah, that was just so powerful and definitely important, and a great way to kind of start off Black History Month. Well, you guys ended in...
We ended in February 3rd was the last show.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of themes. Like, specifically with that one, the idea that the oppressor or anyone who can cause harm on black bodies can be anyone. You know what I mean? Even the most outwardly presenting, well-intentioned people, you know? The idea that, you know, towards the end where he has that speech after he shoots Moses, and he's like, gosh, golly gee, a black man died tonight, did you hear? Almost like pretending like it wasn't him. Right. You know what I mean? And then like the end of that speech, he says, anyway. Yeah. And he sits right back in the audience. So like sort of that idea that it's all around us. Right. You know? And tasking white audience members specifically to ask them what part do they play in the oppression of black folk. But yeah, there's so many. That show was so crazy, bro. Yeah, so many layers to it.
Also just kind of going off of that, he was like, yeah, like I see it on news, and sometimes I don't even want to just, and that really like that hit me, because I was like, yeah, there's probably a lot of people who do that. You know, they just kind of like brush it off, or like, oh well, that they like, some people might think, oh, that has nothing to do with me, right? So I'm not affected by it. But yeah, like that was another key thing. I think, yeah, no, that was just a super dope performance all around.
Thank you.
I'm glad I got to be there for that.
I'm glad you came, bro.
See that, of course, man. I'm already you put out the link for the next one. Yeah. Like I hit up Mondo. I was like, oh, bro, like you trying to go? like I'm trying to plan that out.
Yeah, that one's gonna be dope too.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, just kind of like if you're able to kind of like
talk about it.
Yeah.
This next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the play's called Pipeline. It's written by a playwright named Dominique Morisseau. And it's basically about the school to prison pipeline, and it explores my character Omari, his situation in the education system while dealing with, you know, a broken family at home. And so his parents split up, and it has these effects on him mentally. And so he goes into school one day, and in his English class, they've been reading the book Native Son, you know, which is a book about this black man that gets accused of raping this white girl, et cetera, et cetera. And he ends up killing her, right? He kills her in order to not get accused of raping her. I haven't read the full book. A lot of people read that book, though. Apparently that was required in some high schools. But anyway, so they're reading that book, and he's sort of the tokenized black kid. And the teacher keeps asking him for his perspective on it. Meanwhile, he's thinking that same morning he was trying to call his dad, and he hasn't been able to reach his dad. And so he's dealing with that like personal stuff at home, but then all this bullshit in the classroom. Feel me? And then he ends up lashing out. He pushes the teacher. The teacher falls again. falls against the wall, and then like I don't want to get into it too much. I don't want to tell too many details, but like yeah, he ends up facing expulsion, and yeah, it sort of just explores what it means to be a young black man dealing with emotions of all kinds, and how different things affect you in different environments. Yeah, and there's this dope moment. One of my favorite moments in the play is Mom Dukes ends up in the hospital for reasons I won't say, and then the only time you see me and my father is in the hospital room.
Ooh.
Like he walks in, and I have this dope monologue that I think will resonate with a lot of young black men. And yeah, I think the show's fire.
Word, yeah. I gotta get my ticket. Like, I'm already excited. And that one's in that was at the Cambridge. I mean, was it
Central Square Theater?
Yeah,
March 5th to March 29th.
Word. Yeah, yo, get y'all tickets, cause like we was talking about the last one. Like, last one was dope, and I know that this one is gonna be dope as well. So
yes,
I do recommend getting your tickets now. Go see it. I think by the time this episode comes out, this will probably it'll be showing.
Word.
So yeah, like, go buy your tickets, all that stuff. Make sure you tune in. Let me see what else. So is there anything? No. So how do you feel about like the whole scene within Boston? Like, not just like musically, but like entertainment wise, or like, do you see a lot of creatives in the artistic field kind of like doing their thing, and like how do you feel about it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sort of personally, I'm like I get real tunnel vision whenever I have gigs, and I have gigs lined up through the end of June. Right. So like I haven't been tapped in too much, but I think it's bubbling crazy. I think it's bubbling real crazy. As much as people talk about like, you know, people aren't supporting this and that, yada yada yada. I think we've been, within the past year, 2 years, I think we've sort of really built a great community for arts in Boston, on an artist level, but also on a board level. Like I see a lot of people getting in touch with these different corporations, or, you know, and being able to provide a space for black artists to really do their thing, and like continue to build the network. And shout out to you, bro. Big shout out to you. Doing your thing here, and really tapping into specific individuals. I'm honored to be here, real talk, and I just see the type of support that you have for all the artists in our greater Boston area. And like you really out here doing it, and like just like sharing people's things on social media is one thing, and that's cool, that's great. But also like having a platform like this where people can talk about their specific interests, and like, you know, people that listen to this may not know what it's like to be an actor, specifically with theater. Like, you know, you see all the film stuff and whatever, that's cool. But like, yeah, this is the type of exposure that I think we need more in this city, especially with like arts funding going down and stuff. And yeah, I think we in a great place considering where we were a few years back. Right. You know what I mean? I think we've made a lot of progress, and I'm seeing a lot more events for specifically black artists, individuals, groups, all that.
Word, yeah. 'Cause I know like when I started doing music, it was like almost 3 years now ago. That's when I was in that boat of, yeah, like there's no support and stuff. So it was just realizing that like, yo, like stop all that talking. You know what I mean? Like,
facts.
Like you can either I said this on the last one. Like you can either complain about your situation or do something to change it. So it's really just as simple as that. So that's yeah, like I wanted, we out the same table. Why are we not trying to help each other eat?
That's facts.
You know? But yeah, thank you, bro. Like that's like I just try to. I'm not doing it for the recognition. Like I'm doing it for like the, like for everybody
For the
else.
good
like,
looks.
Yeah, you know, and like, cause I really get so surprised when like people are like yo, you doing your thing. Like cause I don't expect it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like
That's dope though, bro.
I know it's bigger than me. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not just about me being successful. It's about us being successful. And if I can help you get to where you want to be in some way, then I've done my job. And then
For sure.
you know, like if like things always work out in my favor. But I choose to give while I can.
Word.
And trust and believe that what I want for myself is going to come back.
That's a
to me,
fact, bro.
you know?
That's a fact. When you keep purpose at the core, things fall in your lap like crazy, bro.
Yeah. So like I'm even grateful like for the space, you know, like
Yeah.
but like I said earlier, like I've been in go mode, just kind of like booking people and stuff like that. So like it's also, that's another part of it, like just being consistent
Word.
and working hard to kind of get where you want and to be where you at. Cause
Word.
yeah,
Never let up, bro. Never
yeah,
let up.
man, those BMAs, I'm coming for them. You know, I want that podcast of the year.
Word.
And like, yeah, now that's just like that. I guess that's like a focus that I have. To kind of like that's what drives the hunger.
Word.
So yeah, like that's a big thing.
That's
But
what's up.
yeah, I mean, is there anything like you want to say like about you or like anything else? Cause yeah, we got like OD time.
I mean, I would like to personally. I would like to see more people, involved in theater. I think up here in the Northeast, it's not something that culturally we've been able to cultivate as well as I would like. And just like from inviting mad heads, because I did mad promo for this. I bought and made postcards. I sent them out. Yeah, but particularly like for the environments, for the communities that I think could benefit. I've been trying to think of ways to promote things that I'm involved in that I think other people will benefit from. Stories, plays, all that. And on one end, it's like, yeah, we gotta give those communities the resources to have access, you know, and just to even know about these things going on, right? But on the other hand, it's getting people to the venue, you know, is getting people to the event. And it's not so much like, for me, it's not so much like of a support thing. Like I'm good whether you support me or not. I'm still pushing. Right?
Exactly.
It's more of like I do what I do because I want to be impactful to the people that I believe deserve to benefit off of the stories that are being told. Right. And so like when I don't see people pull up, it's like, damn, like I missed an opportunity to really help people, you know? So like that's sort of where I'm coming from with it. Not to say that like people didn't come through, because mad people came through, but I just like for the numbers to go up, you know? Yeah, other than that, just a little inspiration for people. Like I said earlier, when you keep purpose at your core, like things fall in your lap. My personal journey has been lit, like, but not to make it seem like, you know, I did this one thing and then I got lucky enough to do all these other things. It came with a lot of sacrifice in the beginning. A lot of sacrifice. I'm talking like time, relationships, like even like hanging out with homies from school. Like I had to sacrifice a lot of that, and a lot of my close friends can attest to this. Like they could barely see me because I'm like constantly working. Right. But that was only possible because you know, I put my head down and really started like doing my thing, and lo and behold, like I booked 4 professional gigs fresh out of college. You know, I booked my first one before graduating, and that sort of set the tone for the rest of my career. So like, so you know how like in the film industry there's SAG, right? Screen Actors Guild. That means you're part of the union, whatever. I'm eligible for that, but that's a side comment. In the theater world, I'm eligible for equity, which means like, which is also being part of the union. And you only get that doing you qualify after you've done 25 weeks of work on productions, right? And before I graduated, I was told that it takes a good number of years for an actor to establish themselves, right? Excuse me. I have been able to, after Passover, I've been able to acquire my 25 weeks in 10 months. You know, and that's like, I'm not saying that to be like braggadocious or anything. It's like, yo, when you keep your purpose at the core,
right,
and you keep that work ethic up, things fall in your lap. So like, since I started, bro, I haven't had to look for auditions.
Right.
I be getting emails coming to me like, yo, come to this callback. And that's a blessing. Like, it's crazy. So I think, I think more people should really, like, if you don't know what you love to do, explore and really try to tap in, figure out what you like and start from there, start doing those things more. And then once you feel like you're having like a instinctual, like gut feeling, gut connection to something, really hone in on that thing, even if it means that you have to make sacrifices, because in the end it will pay off like crazy.
Yeah, man, like for
crazy.
sure, 100%. Yo, like those sacrifices are definitely crucial, because, you know, like when you want something, like you're gonna have to do that, and you can't get what you want by putting it off or procrastinating, anything like that. So
it's a fact.
Damn, I had somewhere else I was gonna go with that.
Yeah,
but yeah, like you get the idea. Like hard work leads to fruition. Like for real.
Yep. And it ain't easy to make them sacrifices either. Them decisions be hard as hell, bro. Hard as hell. But you know, when you got your eye on the prize, then you gonna do what's necessary.
And I think that a lot of people, like, if you're really cool with people, like, they'll understand, because it's like, yo, like, if my boy got a goal and he's like, oh no, I can't, like, I can't today, like, I'm busy, like, I gotta work on it. I bet, like, you know, like, I know whatever you're doing, something's gonna come out of it. So like, we'll hold that. Like, whenever we could link, we could, like, we could do that, you know. Sure. So I think it's as simple as that. Like, but some people might not see it that way, but it's like, hey, that's part of the bigger idea. Like, it's not for everybody to really understand. But
yeah, and them sacrifices for people that have FOMO or whatever, a fear of missing out, is gonna be particularly hard for them. Because I mean, I had that for some time, and it comes up time and time, from time to time, but like, I've been consistent enough that, like, I don't have to do as much work to get work. You know what I mean? I still don't get me wrong, I still do my work. But in terms of, like, being exposed to the opportunities that are out there, people are reaching out to me, you know? So it's like, yeah, I could miss out on going to the club tonight because I'm chasing the bag, doing what I love.
Big facts.
You know, not just a random bag that's just gonna put my numbers up, but like a bag while doing what you love. Like, that's the dream right there.
Right.
And you keep doing that, you gonna live that dream on the scale that you see yourself at. You know, so that's sort of been what I've been doing and following, and you know, my friends, they understand. Most of them understand. Yeah. But yeah, they gonna have to get used to it. They know what's up.
That's real rap, like 100%.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of tapped out, like, out of questions and stuff. I don't really have anything else. But again, like, yo, thank you for being on here, bro. Like 100%. Like,
Of course.
you know, I'm glad we got to chop it up a little bit
Of course.
about that play, and then what's to come and stuff. But yeah, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram at Bobby BOBBY _ Cius CIUS. Same thing on Facebook. I don't use Facebook like that anymore, but you know, I post from time to time. And yeah, pull up to some shows. I'm getting better at marketing myself and promoting the things that I'm in. So I'll be posting a lot about those things, and yeah, pull up.
Right, 100%.
Pull up.
Yo, you heard it here first. This is Bobby Cius. This is Dawn Talk Podcast, and
yes, sir.
Make sure you tune in.
Because
we got way much more content to come, and I'm definitely gonna have you on here again. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, like whenever we could get that time, then yeah, like we gonna get that. Yeah, like I'm trying to get some cameras in here too, man. You know, so like get those.
I feel that.
Those angles. I just actually just bought like the tripod and stuff for my second camera. Like I just got to pick up the other one, and then like I'll be good. Just got to figure out how to do the video work, because like I'm not experienced in that. But yeah, 100%. Yo, tune in. Thank you guys for listening. Like, share, all that stuff. Leave a review, all that jazz.
Shout out to you, AK.
Yo,
also, congrats on, it's been a year and some change now, right?
Since I've had it, yeah. Since I like kind of birthed the idea, but like I think in July it'll be like the first, or it'll be a full year since I like put out an episode. But yeah, like
that's dope. You grinding, bro.
A year since that was just a thought, and like it was supposed to be completely different than like what it is now. So like just kind of seeing that is super dope.
Yeah, you stuck to it, bro.
Yeah, that's all it is, yo. Consistency.
For sure.
All right, bro.